What is up, everyone? Welcome to the breakdown for the Midwest Open. So definitely a weird one. What we're going to be doing in this one is the snake side. Then we're going to do a video for the middle and then the Dorito side. And of course, we're going to have some possible bounce shots. Thank you again for your patience. I know this is a little bit later, but just for reference, what we're going to call the snake is everything from this can over. The middle is going to be that little W, the wedge, the two bricks in the middle, obviously that small brick. The Dorito side is going to be the Aztec over. We're not going to consider that tower in the middle on the Dorito side. So make sure that you're watching all the videos, that way you can get a full breakdown. So just like with any other breakdown, as we're going out, I want to be looking at what is it that's going to be shooting me on the way out. So as I'm going out to the snake side, remember it's asymmetrical. So you're not looking at your mirror, you're looking at the opposite side of the field. So regardless, this Aztec, I'm trying to see where is it that it's going to be able to really get you. And you can see this gap right through here is pretty great. So this is definitely something that if you try to run and gun out to, it might be kind of tough to actually make it if people can get that shot dialed in. But there might be some ways that someone can shoot back into the middle and kind of mess with some people. But it might be that you have to start diving into this can to make it there alive. So let's look at the heads up shot. So again, we're looking at the Dorito side from the snake side. Remember, it's asymmetrical. So you're gonna have snake up to a certain point and then the Dorito. So looking at here, it looks like if they haven't gone wide, you actually have some decent shots to be able to help keep them out from going wide. The issue is that they still can take some inside routes and be able to get up, but that seems pretty good to be able to help stop that side. So this can might be pretty important to get to. And again, looking at it, let's look at the looking at technically the other snake side. You do have some shots going into here. It doesn't really seem like you're going to be able to do a whole lot of damage. It looks more like the heads up shot here is going to be great. Now, if they do get out past there, this isn't going to be so fantastic. I mean, you can see here, you have the shot into that Dorito, but if they stay low, they can make it past your gap and then of course make it all the way up into here and actually get into your snake before you would even notice anything. So this isn't a great spot to stay at once they get past this this Aztec over here. So if they do go past here, this bunker is probably not going to be best to stay at. But let's go actually into the snake here. So into the snake, you can see already we have a great shot coming in from the opposite can. So that's one that could be something to look at. Let's see if that shot. Yeah, you can see it here. So that shot going right into there. So off the break, you know, maybe you're able to shoot that, or maybe that is one that, remember, this is all first impressions, so this is not a gospel. So this is definitely try it out and tell me what you guys think. But looking at it, that can do some decent damage to be able to shoot into this gap. Now it is cross field, so it might not be the best to do that with, but it is an option. So let's see. So the Aztec does have a shot from that back center into here. So those off the break shots look like they're going to be real important. But the thing with this snake is that you have all this zone back here. So because you have all this zone here, you can dive out and pick different routes. So whether you go shallow or you take a further back kind of deep route, it's going to mess with those players. So if you're taking the snake off the break, I think you should be able to do okay percentage wise being able to get in there. Now once they start dialing in a certain shot, you have to figure out a different route. But let's look at this snake one. So I'm going to crouch down a little bit so like we're actually playing the snake. And so we don't see a whole lot of great shots here. Now I'm wondering if this Aztec can shoot over the top here and drop low enough to be able to catch a player. It might be that if you hug the beam, you're going to be okay. Yeah, you might be okay, but I'm wondering if either that tower or this Aztec can shoot down enough that it could stop someone moving up into the snake too. But let's say that they can't. Moving up into here, okay, so we have the home here as well. They can shoot up over the top. So you don't want to show anything extra. You definitely want to stay low. Let's keep going. And getting into what we're going to call the snake 2, because This is the second knuckle for the snake. Let me turn this a little bit. All right, so let's see these shots. So looking into your opposite Dorito side, so backing up actually, you might be able to drop some shots in through here. I'm not sure how effective that's really gonna be, but let's look at this wrap here. So this wrap, you might be able to catch some of these guys off guard in the bricks. So if there is someone that has come up, you might be able to wrap around and shoot here. Let's look at, yeah, this other brick here, the little one, wrapping around here. This is someone that can shoot into this gap as well, but you might be able to surprise them and see if you can still get the same shot over the top. It's not going to be as good, but you know, you can definitely, if they're hanging out, shoot here. And then also into, looks like that other little W over there, if I can get the angle for it correct. If they're popping the top, you might be able to catch them, and maybe if you thread the needle there, but that's kind of iffy. Let's move into snake 3. So moving into snake 3, of course you have this gap over here, so you want to be careful that you're not like staying in there. It's going to be hard for them to shoot you through that gap, but just mind the gap for my British watchers, subscribers, whatever. So let's look here. Now these towers look like they might be pretty solid. So these towers might be able to stop you pretty well if they're just pounding through here. But the issue is that they don't really have a lot that they can dive out to. Especially like this guy, he could dive out into that little brick. But this one, I mean, where's he gonna go this way? It's a huge open space, maybe coming up closer, but then that might allow someone to come through. So just something to keep in mind. But if you're playing this snake side, moving up into this snake 3, well, you're gonna get some good shots. So especially once you start to get the wrap. So let's move over so we can kind of show the wrap here. So definitely into the other wedge, if they're playing the inside of that wedge, into this larger brick, the smaller brick, and into that opposite snake corner. So this is definitely good. And then of course, once you move into, ooh, okay, so you have a little gap through here. So if there is someone that is in that little W, they can shoot through here to help support and be pretty safe. It looks like they can be pretty safe if they're nice and tucked in. So that would be something to make sure that you're checking off. But once you're up into this wedge, that's looking pretty good. So that snake corner is going to get kind of, or I'm sorry, that's not the snake corner, that's the insert. So that snake side can might get kind of tight. So especially once they get past that one gap that we were looking at, that's not going to be helpful to stay there. Because one, you can't really stop a whole lot. I mean, I guess you could shoot through this gap. You know, there is that. You could shoot through the gap. So, but I guess the issue is that you're shooting this long shot. The Dorito is going to be able to kind of put you in, and then they could probably shoot high and then jump into this wedge into your side. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of discipline and a lot of switches. What I'm seeing already. So of the snake side, let's actually go into this. We're going to count this as the snake side. This one. Yeah, this is definitely where you want to get to. So you can see once you start wrapping the field. So I'll turn it a little bit more so we can get more of a wrap look. You can definitely start getting some backs and then kind of sneak through and be able to start picking people up. So definitely a good snake side. Now let's look real quick at this inside route, because you know people are going to do that. So let me click this so I can move it. So let's just look real quick. So I know, like I said, we're not going to include that little W as the snake side. That would be considered the middle. Same thing. Oh, we'll consider this wedge. So I'm wondering if someone dove in here. Okay, so this can shoot through here, but they're probably shooting a deeper shot. I'm wondering, well, okay, so if you took the inside route, definitely have some guys that can shoot you. But once you're there, let me get here and drop lower. So kind of pretend like we're playing here. Let me move this. So moving up, unless they have someone in this brick, which is yours, and oh, I guess okay, so this Aztec would be able to see you, but I'm wondering actually if you could just dive and then crawl diagonal, not even use the beam. So you dive, and then as long as that can isn't looking at you, I think you might be able to crawl all the way up into this wedge unseen. That can is your biggest threat, because if you go wide enough this way, okay, so you're gonna have to pick which one is your threat. So that little W and the can are able to shoot into here, but this could be an option, whether it be that you crawl up and then hop the beam and crawl in. Let's actually look and see if this is better for stopping. Yeah, you could actually do some okay damage control on the Dorito side. The issue is that once they get past that little Dorito, you're blocked out completely, which I guess that would be the point that you would crawl into the middle. But let's look here. Okay, so that snake over there can shoot into you, but I guess they'd have to be quick enough to get there. So you could even get here and then start shooting into that snake, maybe even try to back up a little bit and shoot into this gap. That would be super risky. Not sure if that would be a good idea or not. So man, this is an interesting snake. So I think there's going to be a lot of flexibility here in terms of what is it that you can and can't do. It's really going to be dependent on how people break out. Who is it that's able to stay alive? I think, you know, people being able to come out into the snake off the break, just picking what lane is going to work best. The guys that can float and come out into this can, if they're not wider than the Aztec on the, you know, opposite Dorito side, man, you can sit there and just be, you know, throwing paint through there and be able to do a lot of damage. But if they do get wider, you have to get out of here. This is not a can. I mean, could we, I guess you could switch your job and shoot into the snake 3 if they do make it past there and then someone else picks up the job, because then you can shoot into this gap. So that would be the audible, I would probably say, is that if they do get past there, okay, someone else pick up the Dorito side because I need to shoot into this side here, just to stop their movement there. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to say what's the most important bunker on this Dorito or snake side. So definitely tell me what you guys think. That's just kind of my first impressions right now for the snake side here for the Midwest Open. It'll be interesting. That's all I have to say about this. So make sure that you watch the other videos. We're gonna have the other one on the middle and the Dorito side, especially with an asymmetrical layout like this. Make sure that you are watching all of the footage, so that way you're able to understand who can shoot you, what can you do if certain things happen, and of course I'll have a possible bounce shots. I already saw at least one. There's definitely going to be some in here. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Remember, watch, learn, win. Thanks.